Align and Awaken with Mother Earth Rising podcast. Let's rise and heal together with me, Pippa, your Mother Earth healer. Hello, beautiful souls. I hope you're keeping safe and you're well. I have been taking a bit of time over the last few weeks to go in to do some healing. And I know over the last few weeks, you've probably seen some interviews that I've done. I haven't really been able to record on my own for a while, just not felt called to do that. But today I do. Today I really feel called to come on and speak to you about what's been going on with me. You know, the raw, vulnerable Pippa likes to come on and talk about what's been going on for me and what's been happening in my spiritual journey. So on the 4th of August, a few weeks ago, I sadly lost my granddad, and it happened quite quickly. He'd been in a care home and he'd just kept deteriorating, and we seen him a couple of weeks before he died, and he just looked sad, sick, just not himself. And yeah, you know, he was put on to end of life, and it took around 3 days for him to leave his body. And it was the 4th of August, and I just remember thinking, like, wow, like, I found it quite challenging in a sense of I didn't have Chris here, my partner, to comfort me in the way I wanted to. You know, he supports me, and he couldn't be here like the way he wanted to be because we're still separated due to COVID. And when I looked at the lessons and when I looked at the reasons why I'm still here, I was grateful that I'm still here, that I got to say goodbye to my granddad, which was a nice moment for me. And, you know, having that moment with my granddad, I was so grateful for, because if I was in New Zealand and I couldn't get back, I knew I would have felt guilty. I just knew that deep in my heart. So I think being here was meant for me to say goodbye to granddad, for one door to close and a new one to open. Now, this episode, I really want to talk about losing a loved one. I know it's something we have to experience being in this human life. It's, you know, death, as we say. You know, do you think it's the end? And for me, I don't. Like, you know, it's life after life. But when you lose someone so close to you, it does make you question more. It makes you go deeper. It makes you go on this other journey to, you know, explore. You know, where did they go? What did they do? Them leaving their bodies. So 4 years ago, I lost my nan, which is my granddad's partner. And I was spiritual then, but nowhere near as I am now. And I remember losing my nan. It was kind of a bit of a blur. You know, it was just, she had cancer, and it was like 3 months that she had to live. And it was exactly 3 months. And I remember just going through the motions of it. But with Grandad, it was kind of like a ticking bomb. You know, he didn't want to be here anymore. He really missed my nan. And it was really sad to watch, you know, just someone not want to be here, really, you know, had no purpose, had nothing to live for, really. And it was sad to see that. My granddad was an atheist, didn't believe in anything. He didn't believe in life after life. He didn't believe in life after death. He didn't believe in God. He didn't believe in anything. And I know now where he is. He will be like a kid in a sweet shop. He will be like, oh my goodness, there's so much to see. He's in that realm of love. And since he's passed, he's sent me so many signs. I feel him a lot, you know, more than I did my nan at the start, because I think I'm much more connected, and I'm much more open to the possibility. And over the last few years, I have been developing my psychic abilities. So hearing him, smelling him, knowing he's around, feeling into the signs he's sending me, it is really beautiful. And Chris and I are watching a Netflix series at the moment called Surviving Death, which is really, really interesting. It's come at a great time to watch that, you know, because when we lose a loved one, you know what, it's just like babies, you know, what 1 minute they're not there, the next minute they're there. And it's the same with death, you know. And I just hate using the word death, but you know, 1 minute he was there and the next minute he wasn't. And it really just started to make you curious, more curious. Where is he, you know? And I remember last night, you know, I held his, I had his box of ashes in my hands, and I thought, that's not Grandad. That's not my Grandad. That's just his ashes of the vessel he chose to be in this lifetime. He chose that body. So I know his energy, his consciousness is around. I know he lives on because I believe that. So this episode, I wanted to kind of talk about how I've been feeling since losing my Grandad, because he was my last grandparent. And being there for my mum, my family, it's been a journey in itself the last 2 weeks, even though it just seems like it was so long ago. So crazy how time moves here. Obviously in the realm of spirit, the time is different, but it really helps you to go deeper within yourself. And if you have just lost a loved one, I would encourage you to question things. It really is important to question what's out there, to question your beliefs, to question, not to doubt yourself, but it's good to have an openness to different spiritualities, different religions. And recently I've really stepped into becoming a practicing Taoist, because I think you've probably listened to my previous episodes. I love the Tao. Wayne Dyer got me onto the Tao, and the Tao really connects to what I believe in. The Tao really connects to what I want to achieve in this lifetime and to help others, connect to as well. It's our original nature. So I think losing Grandad has, saying I've lost Grandad, I haven't really lost Grandad. I've, parted with his physical being, but his energy and his spirit will live on for eternity. And it really does start to make you wonder, where are they? Are they okay? And my partner, Chris, got me to watch a movie called No Solar, and it means my home. And it's an interesting movie. You should really watch it. And it, opens your eyes again to the possibility of what happens after we leave this earth. But as well, the last few weeks have been a bit challenging in a sense of my ego self has been keeping me quite contained, wanting me to just go into grief, into feeling sorry for myself. And then my soul and higher self has said, nope, yeah, grieving is an important process, but the soul and the higher self wants me to use the challenge, use suffering to turn into enlightenment. What can I learn from this? What can I do with this? Because, it's a cliche for me to say this, but life is short. We don't know how long we're on this planet for. And in a sense, it made me question what else can I achieve on this planet? What else can I do for the planet? What else can I do for people? And that's why I really stepped into Taoism, because, my ego would say, who are you to be a Taoist? Who are you to teach Taoism? You're not an expert. And then obviously, that's the ego trying to keep me small. But my higher self always is, follow the niggles. And I feel like Grandad is up there pushing me. And I think he, I do truly believe that he's like a kid in a sweet shop, because he was so non-religious in this life. I feel like since he's been up there, he's been like, oh my God, this is amazing. He's like loving it. He can visit me. He can visit the family. He can send me signs. I really do feel his giddiness since he left. And it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. And it's really helped me to see things differently. So, my advice to you is, if you are losing a loved one or you've just lost a loved one, connect to them. They're around all the time. And if you don't believe that, it's working with it. Where do they go? The energy goes, they're still here, but not in the physical presence. And that's what it teaches us too, is to let go of the physicality of life, because eventually, we are just energy. Me, you, everyone around us is energy. And we need to let go of the physicality of things. That's why we get so attached. That's why a lot of people can't physically be okay with dying, be okay with leaving the earth, because we all love the hugs, the kisses, physical touch. And until we get to the other side, we won't know for sure what it actually feels like. But, if we can tap into that energy while we're here, wow, what an experience that could be. And that's what the Tao really helps me to do. That's what the Tao really helps me to connect to, and my partner also. So I will say, I feel like I've had a challenging year, being away from Chris, being away from the things I truly desire, but I've had to learn to let go. I've had to learn to surrender. And I do get in low days, I do get into ego. I do get triggered because it's part of the journey. It's part of my growth. And, losing Grandad made me a lot more sensitive, made me a lot more vulnerable in a sense, but it made me realize a lot. It made me realize a lot that life is, we know like life is precious. We know that. But when you do have something so big happen to you, it makes it deeper. It makes it a lot deeper. It makes it more real. But if we can connect to that energy, if we can connect to that strength without having to go through something like a suffering, just think of what happens when you do go through a suffering. It's going to be even heightened. You're going to go through something that you can get through. I have been really strong. I'm really proud of myself. I wrote a poem for Grandad and I read it out at the crematorium, and it was just lovely. I was so proud because my nan used to write poems and I felt her so much. The last few weeks I have been writing so many poems. I have been connecting to that creativity within me. And again, whatever's inside of you that wants to get out, to be created, to be said, to be shown, don't hold back. There's so many things within you waiting to emerge, waiting to come out for the world to see, for the world to experience. And if we don't do it now, maybe we'll do it in the next life. But if you have the capacity to do it now, do it. And that's where I'm really connecting to now, is that I have so much to give. I have so much that I want to share. My brain is bursting with ideas. My brain is bursting with love and support for so many people. I have been really connecting to my Reiki healing. I sent my Grandad a lot of Reiki healing distantly while he was in the hospital or the care home. And I remember the morning before he died, in the afternoon, I was just saying to Grandad in my head, let go, just let go. Because again, when we get to the last parts of our life, we don't want to let go of the physical body. We don't want to let go of it because it's just, especially when you're like Grandad, he's an atheist. He doesn't want to let go of life like that sometimes. But, helping him to let go, I felt comforted for that. I did feel comfort for helping him in that sense, because I send distant Reiki healing a lot and it's so powerful, so powerful. I've been sending it to Chris. I've been sending it to friends in Australia, friends in New Zealand, in America, a lot of places, and it's really powerful. So I am stepping into that. I'm stepping into those healing powers because I've been given that gift and I want to be able to share that gift. It's been given to me in this lifetime. It isn't my gift. I've just been given it for this lifetime to use, and I want to honor that. I want to honor the universe for sending me that gift and giving me that gift for to use. So I would recommend you do a meditation to connect to spirit, to do a meditation to connect to your spirit guides. When I was younger, I used to be absolutely frightened I used to be so frightened of spirit, of seeing a ghost, of anything like that. But I never did. I never used to see ghosts. I never used to see spirit because, the universe will only give you whatever you can handle. So I would definitely have feelings, have knowings, have smells. And that's what I want to connect to now is those gifts. So being frightened of it, if you are frightened of it now, don't be, because these are loved ones that do want to get in contact with us. Their energy is around us all the time. Just ask for a sign, ask for a specific sign. If it's a loved one, just say, send me a feather, a random feather, send me a penny, send me a robin. I've just been for a lovely walk today. There was so many feathers around me, and there was a robin that landed right on the path in front of me and then just sat on the tree watching me. And I knew it was my Grandad. I just knew. It's like that first instant moment. It could have been my nan. It could have been my other grandparents. But no, I knew it was Grandad. So connect to those signs, because there's more than we realise out there. There's more energy than we realise. And there's so much synchronicity going on that we can't explain. that we can't figure out. The universe sends us so many signs that we don't see. So when you connect and you align and you start to heal, that's when you start to open up to the signs and the possibilities. And it just gets so exciting. So I would recommend you do that. You meditate, connect, quieten that mind. Definitely work on the ego. And that's the work that I do with clients, is helping you to let go of the ego, to, befriend the ego, and to become aware of the difference between ego and intuition. So really interesting. And I can't wait to start, teaching Reiki. I've got students booked in over the next couple of weeks, which is just really exciting. Me being able to attune others and build that family tree, of Reiki healers around the world. So if you have been thinking, I'd love to be a Reiki healer, get in contact with me. I do one-to-one, face-to-face, and I do online teaching as well. So I'd love to connect with anyone who has that niggle to be a healer. I'd love to connect with you. I'd love to work with some of you who are ready to let go of that anxiety and that overthinking and that stress and the triggers, to start working on the differences between ego and intuition, to start really tapping into that ego and connecting you to the Tao. It's a big one that I really want to tap into, is the Tao, and helping you to connect to the Tao. So I'm sending you a huge hug from the UK to anyone who is going through losing a loved one, who has recently just lost a loved one, or anyone who has in the past. It's a process in itself, and just be patient with yourself. Take the time you need. Go inward, journal, meditate, get in nature, do the things you love, really do the things you love, and stay connected. That's one of the big tips for me, is to stay connected. Because, if you knew who walked beside you every single day, you wouldn't feel fear or doubt ever again. So know that you're never alone, and I am sending you so much love. Take care, guys. Chat to you soon. Bye.